Okay, hello and welcome back to another session of Creating Art Over 70 with Science Rufus. We're going to continue on with the charcoal black leopard painting. I took that short break in the middle of this piece in order to create the Christmas card. Those of you who watched that particular series of paintings of the Christmas card, thank you so much. It was fun. It was incredible. We did all the addressing and I printed them in house right here, so I didn't have to send it out or anything, which was send it out to be printed or anything, which was pretty good. And so got all that done, and they're pretty much off in the mail now, so it's a good thing. So anyway, we're gonna get back to this. Also, while I was on that little break, I took a couple, some hours, maybe about a day, and just kind of relaxed. And I did some reviewing because, when I was into my charcoals here, I'm battling with myself as to my approach, my rope flow, as to how I want to accomplish certain things. And so I said, maybe I should just like go back and review. So I went back and did some review and looked at, watched a few of the other charcoal painters out there, how what they were doing, and then I realized, what I was missing in my workflow, and I had incorporated it in my early stages of charcoal, and it seemed to work really well. But then I kind of got overflowed. I'm gonna use the word overflowed with other styles of charcoal, and then trying to pull from this and pull from that and pull from this and pull from that to see what works for me in my workflow. I got a little confused, I guess, or forgot a few things. However, so what I was trying to do is get the leopard to look black. The leopard still looks black. However, my big mistake, and I'm gonna really work on understanding the dynamics of that, was incorporating the white charcoal into this piece way, way too early. So what I was doing was using really too much of it. In other words, I wasn't just using it for highlights. I was using it for blending and lightening to get different values, and it wasn't working on this particular type of paper paper medium. It wasn't working, so I had to go back up and rethink it. So anyway, also in this session, I'm gonna get back to this. I'm gonna work on this here. I'm gonna do a lot of blending in it. I'm gonna stay away from the white charcoal. I'm working the blacks and the dark. I want to get it back to just looking like a black leopard. It's gonna be considered a black panther because we're not gonna really draw in the spots, but we're gonna give some fur flow to it, so it looks like it is floor, even though it looks like fur. It's just kind of implied. It's like fur, like a silhouette of fur. So we can get away with that, but I want to try to work in some more fur details, so the piece will pop a little bit. And so going forward, I'm refined my workflow back to the original, how I was doing it, which was I come in with the willow charcoal very lightly, and put in the overall shape of it. However, what I didn't do with that was just blend it in and then work out the lighter portions with the eraser, like the eyes and the lighter areas of the piece with the eraser before committing more charcoal to the painting, is where I went wrong also, where I deviated from my workflow. So anyway, we're gonna get through this piece regardless of that. We're gonna try to make it work the best we can, and then we're gonna move forward from there. Okay, so enough said. Let's get busy. Thank you so much for watching Creating Art Over 70 with Sign Rufus. Okay. Update. Quick update. What I've done now so far is I don't know. It looks like I've changed direction and I'm kind of adding spots, but I'm adding the spots in order to get the blend that I'm trying to accomplish, where darker fur, lighter fur blend, and maybe the spots will show through maybe a little bit, hopefully. So I was able to get away from using the white charcoals, which was pretty nice. I was able to pull a lot of it off, and so it really didn't impact the piece as much as I thought it would with respect to the facial area here, because that's where I was using a heavy amount of the white charcoal is in the facial area. So, well, the muzzle area of the cat, and so I was able to get rid of that. And I'm trying to keep the changes in here. And I what I did differently is I pulled out my stump, a couple of stumps, and the powdered charcoal. I used some powdered charcoal. So what I was trying to do, and it wasn't working for me, was I was trying to just use pencil, charcoal, charcoal pencil in order to lay down some charcoal and then blend it in. But I should have been using the powder where I could lay down as much as I want, which is a lighter and a softer charcoal than the pencils could possibly be. And so I would be able to blend it relatively in comparison to the actual charcoal pencils themselves, in my opinion. And so that's why I resorted back to using just the powdered charcoal for laying in the spots and some of the darker areas, and then I'll blend them out using the stump and the brush a little bit to get that accomplished. So anyway, that's where we are with this. That's why I'm laying in these spots, in case you're curious. And then I'm gonna blend them a little bit later. They still may have some spot look, but I'm gonna try to blend it down to where I can keep the lighter areas lighter and the darker areas darker, where we still get the form. I want to keep the form of the legs going in there, the chest area here, the shoulder blades coming in here. I want to keep that form, and also the torso here. I want to keep that form, and the back legs. I want to keep all that form in place because the form is there. You can see it relatively well, and so I want to make sure I do not lose that. Down in this area, I got to put a little bit of that. What happens with the cats, like when they eat well, my opinion, and just from observing my cats here at the house, is when they eat, they start to develop this little area down in here where it looks like a heavy amount of fur starts to grow, and so it kind of lays there with fur. So that's what I want to try to keep in here. So what I was doing here earlier, I was trying to lay it in where it kind of made it look like it was part of the leg here, but it's not part of the leg at all. It's actually the fur coming off that part of the cat's stomach area. So that's what I'm working on. Okay, so we're going to come back. We're going to continue on here now, but what we're going to do is I want to stop with that for a second and break away from that and clean up a little bit of the background composition that I'm not happy with. Like, for example, the tree here. I was putting in this knot in the tree here, and I don't need all that. I'm gonna pull that knot out. I'm gonna keep it simple because it's not adding anything to the piece. Actually, I feel, in my opinion, that it's taken away from the piece by putting that knot there. You know, why you want to pull the viewer's attention away from the subject, which is the black leopard himself, and take it away to some knot in the background. So we're gonna get rid of that in this session also. Okay, so that's enough jibber jabber. Let's get back to work. Thank you so much for watching. Creating Art Over 70, sign Rufus. Okay, I think I'm gonna stop this one right here. Yeah, of course I could take it further and get it, you know, pretty much detailed a little bit more. But the approach I started with respect to what I was trying to accomplish was not quite on the mark. So a lot of this piece was me adjusting and trying to make it work. Like I was saying, the with this particular type of medium, I needed to start identifying the lighter values first, and I should have, you know, I should have started with a light, really light coat of the darker charcoals, and then etched out the lighter sections, the lighter shapes, and then built from there. And then I wouldn't have to work so hard. I entered into this piece thinking I was going to be able to utilize the white charcoal and it would work well without, you know, any issues. However, on this particular color of construction paper here, it didn't work. I still use it in some of the areas. Like I needed to get some whiskers in, and I saw that I couldn't erase out enough of this here to get a valid representation of whiskers. So I brought back the white charcoal in order to get the whiskers and, you know, hit the eyes, hit the eyes just a bit, you know, to bring them out just a bit more, type of a thing. Just a bit more. So, so anyway, the next piece I'm gonna do in charcoal, I'm gonna really adjust my workflow, my approach, my style. So, like I was saying earlier on, the other pieces of charcoal I get, like the Patrice Lori piece, I needed to adjust the workflow. So now I think I got it. I went back and reviewed and some of the stuff I had been working with and I had forgotten. I refreshed myself with, and so I should be able to handle that process a little easier. Meaning, really have a better idea as to the approach, as to how I'm going to go before I get into the piece. I really like painting and letting the piece guide me, and I still do that. Don't get me wrong. I let the piece guide me, see, so I see what's working. I try to change it, you know, to get something else to work. You know, I'm still adjusting to all the different tools I use. I don't have like, okay, this is gonna work with this. This is gonna work with that. This type of a thing. So I'm still adjusting all those things to try to accomplish what I'm trying to do here. So anyway, I think it's nice. It's not over the off the hook, beautiful, gorgeous, but I like it. It's nice. It's very simple. It was a real learning experience, and I hope you guys got some of what you see me do here, and what, you know, what I've changed. You can see what worked for me, what didn't work for me, all those type of things. So it'll help you. Hopefully, it helps you out when you start to really get into your pieces, especially your charcoal pieces. Charcoal is a lot of fun. Don't get me wrong; it's incredible to be able to take a black and just create something. It's nothing like that in the world. I love the pastels though, because the pastels give me a variety. I can really bring out the life. I can bring out the story. I can set the mood a lot more. So here the mood is not really totally set for. It's like time of day, those type of things. It's just you see the cat coming out from around the tree, and it tells a simple story, but it doesn't tell like the time of day. What's the actual mood? Is it morning? Is it night? Those type of things. And so I want to incorporate some of that into my compositions when I do pieces like this. This one I didn't think it through, and I was going to put some rock formations in this area, so it would indicate, this is behind him. Just put some rock formations here to break this off to show that it's like a little of a, not a total hill, but a little offset. Like this goes up on a little hill, and then the shrubbery starts from there. I was going to put that in, but I don't think it's necessary for this piece. So I'm gonna stop here. I'm going to think about the next piece and see if I can do a much better job. I like it. I like that I was able to get the dark representation in it, so you can really see the form of the cat. I threw in some of the spots. I tried to blend them out because I'm trying to do Black Panther, not necessarily Black Leopard. And so I wanted to put the spots in there so I could see what it looked like. And so I understand the dynamics of it now. So, but for a panther, I wouldn't put the spots in. So when I do a Black Panther, I'm not going to put the spots in. But what I learned from this piece is I understand how to handle like the chest areas, the shoulder areas, the torso itself, or I guess that's what you call this on the cat, but the body part itself, and get the form I'm looking for, and so I can just use straight blacks and highlight type thing, highlight type approach to it. I won't need to use any of the white stuff to get the whites out. So I could actually do a Black Panther. But this Black Leopard, I'm happy with it. I'm going to stop here and just call this a project and then work on the next one. Understand, I know I can work it hard. I can work it more to get it out. But I think I've gone a little bit too far to get really highlight, because this particular piece of this particular color of construction paper doesn't give me that luxury, because it's on it's just maybe a hint above mid-tone value, and in order to get really vivid highlights, you need to go well and above the mid-tone value. And so I would have had to darken these things a lot heavier in order to get that to look like it's very, very illuminated or incredibly warm, for as the whites and the stuff of the leopard itself. So okay, well, anyway, enough said. Let me sign this piece and get on out of here. Alrighty. Okay. Thank you so much for watching Creating Art Over 70 with Sign Rufus, the Black Leopard charcoal painting. Blessings. See you in the next project.